Welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage, where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video is my September 2022 dividend income report for you, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So I'm going to begin this video by saying that this is the reflection of 8 years worth of investing. So just to kind of preempt any kind of questions as to how to do this has been 8 years in the making, and it takes time and consistency and also available funds to be able to do this. And two, obviously everything that I talk about during this video is not financial advice. This is just me sharing my journey with you. That being said, let's get going. So I'm going to say already, I'm going to start with the fact that this dividend income update that I'm doing right now is the best month I've ever had with dividends. I've tipped over a fairly substantial milestone. And when I kind of sat and worked out at the end of the month, I was so excited and so happy. And I'll be totally honest, it couldn't be happening at a better time at the moment. And I'm not going to go into details about that. You know, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that. It doesn't need to go into any detail, but it's just, yeah, it couldn't have come at a better time. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at the first one. So the first one that paid out during the month of September is Aberdeen PLC, and actually their share price has gone down quite a lot recently, but I tend to not worry about that so much because these are all long-term holdings. So in some ways the fluctuation, as long as it doesn't kind of go to like zero, the fluctuations don't really matter. They paid out in September £48.18. So even with that one payment there, that's more than I got in August. So you can see just how much my income fluctuates, my dividends payments from month to month. The second one that paid out is Aviva. Now Aviva is one of my favourite holdings. I have added to this recently and intend to add again when I have more available funds, and I'll talk a bit more about that later. But Aviva is one of my kind of staple companies within my holdings. I think they're a really good investment for me to have. Remember, this is not financial advice, you need to do your own research. But Aviva paid out £103. Can you see why this is going to be a good month? I mean, £103 from one payment. When I look back at my first dividend income month back in February 2016, I think it was, I got £11 in total, and now I'm sat here with one company paying me over £100. That's just the beauty of dividend investing and kind of waiting out, I suppose. The next company that paid out is BT Group. Now their dividend was cut for quite a long time, but it's back, and this is smaller really. It's £26.95. I don't have as many shares in BT as I do in other holdings, but you know, I'm not complaining at £26.95 at all at this stage. The next one that paid out is Legal and General Group. They're a fairly new holding in my portfolio, and again one that I am consciously adding to whenever I've got some spare money, and to be honest, I haven't been very recently, but they're again another good holding in my portfolio, and they paid out £59.84. The next one is Lloyds Bank, and their dividend is really small if I remember correctly, so yeah, £8. So again, but you know, if you had kind of 20 companies paying out £8, suddenly the total wouldn't be so small, would it? So all of these things all together add up to quite a substantial amount, so I need to keep that in mind when I kind of write the smaller numbers. The next one is SSE, so gas and electric company there. Again, a fairly new holding, I think. They paid out £39.13. And again, theirs is one that their share price fluctuates so much, like all the time. So I try not to worry too much about that and focus on the return. And yes, if they were down and I was selling, it might be a different story, but I'm not. And so in some ways, it doesn't really matter what they do day to day, as long as the overall trend is upwards. The next is Unilever. And again, such a massive company. Their share price, again, fluctuates quite a lot. Some others, like some of them kind of stay fairly stable, but some are much more kind of up and down. And they paid out £16.35. So can you see the numbers are really good? And then finally, and this is the one that made the difference when I was waiting for this paid on the last day of September. So I'd got all the others and kind of had a good total anyway. And then I was waiting for this last one because I knew that this was going to be a good addition to the already good number. So this is the only fund that I have that pays out in September, the Vanguard FTSE 100 Index Fund. It's the income version one. And that paid out £204.89. So in total, for September, are you ready? This makes me so happy. I got in dividend income £506.34. Now, like I say, this is 8 years in the making and 8 years of being consistent, of saving and investing, and also being patient, I suppose. £500 in my day job would take me over a week to earn. And so the fact that I've now got that for passive income, for doing nothing other than holding these in these companies and waiting for that, is just amazing. And like I said, at the moment, with things how they are, things in my kind of real life scenario, if you like, are so complex and so complicated, having these little positive things to kind of focus on is really helping me. And I talked about a milestone earlier. The milestone is I've gone over £500 for the first time. My previous highest month was like £340, so obviously that's kind of blown that out of the water completely. And I'm so pleased with that number given the current circumstances. So I'm now going to show you a graph that shows the income for this year, and then a little table that kind of shows the same thing as well. First, I'm going to share with you the little graph that I've got. So this little graph shows the dividend income as kind of a visual representation for this year, and you can see the massive differences within my monthly payments. So my biggest there, obviously, is September, that £506.34. The lowest month this year so far has been March at £32. So the differences between the two numbers are quite substantial, and in an ideal world they'd all be in the 3 figures and eventually in the 4 figures, but that's not how it works, and that is not how it's going to work anyway, because at some point all of this is going to have to change. But for now I'm kind of plodding on regardless. But that, I like a visual representation. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I'm all about visual aids to help. And so that's the graph for this year so far. And then the final thing I'm going to show you is a table that shows what I've invested and received. So this is just a little table that I like to do as well. This is the dividend earned and invested cash. Now, I talked about spare money or money to invest into different things. As you can see from kind of, when my life turned upside down, apart from July, and I don't quite know where this came from in July, but I've not managed to invest anything since that point. My budget is so tight now as a one income household that unless kind of my side hustles make me a lot more money, the days of investing £800 sadly are at the moment very much over. Now I'm hoping to get that back at some point, but I genuinely don't know when that might be, if at all, at this stage. But yeah, you can see there. So September, although I didn't have more cash to invest, my dividends more than made up for that. And then if I scroll down, the amount that I've got so far in 2022 is £1,413.70. That's almost as much as I got for the entire of last year, and obviously there are 3 months to go. So I'm going to hit a new yearly total, like the highest total as well, which is, again, something to kind of hold on to when times are tough, because they absolutely are. So yeah, that's my dividend income update for September 2022. Have you had any dividends? How is your investing looking? Do you wish you could start and you don't really know where to begin? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.